Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. Y'all, I had problems getting this started. I'm not feeling good today, and I haven't been on live in quite a while, and quite a few things have changed since I've last been on live. But what I wanted to come in today and talk about briefly is this whole Maleah Davis thing. Y'all, I think they done found this baby. And this is a story that a lot of people have a hard time talking about because a lot of us are parents, we're aunts, we're uncles, we're grandmothers, we're cousins. When I first heard this story, I did not believe the mother. Um, it seems like to me that the mother may have had some involvement in it. But y'all, here's the thing. I can't figure out um what part she played in it. Did she help him? Um, did she come home and her baby was dead? And then they panicked and decided to concoct this whole story. I don't know. But when I came home today, this is what I heard. I heard that Quanell had went to talk to Darion earlier and he confessed that, he killed her and that I guess he dumped her in Arkansas. They go there, they find a black garbage bag and it has the remains of a child in it. I don't know. I don't know about this, y'all, because I don't totally 100% believe the mother didn't have anything to do with it or she didn't know something about it. I know that once they put all the pieces together, just like the, other cases like this, will finally get, I guess, the details of it. But this seems a little shady, y'all. First of all, I got a problem with if the mother claims that all of this stuff was happening to her baby at the hands of that man. Why would she leave and go to another state and leave her baby there? If she knew that, as she claims, he was supposed to be taking her to the daycare and he was taking her to the house with him, taking her back to the apartment with him. If he was beating her baby, you know, to the point where it was leaving marks on her and her and him had had words about it. If this baby had a mysterious head injury and um to the point where I don't know if y'all watched Geneva's Closet, but she was showing pictures of that baby when she was in the hospital and how swollen that baby's face was. Y'all, as a mother, you know, you gotta be the protector for your child. If and this is why I believe the mother had something to do with it. Because if it had been me, just say when I was younger, I was dating some guy and I let him move in with me and my kids, and I saw him whooping up or whooping my child too hard. First of all, y'all, I don't think if they're not the biological parent when you first meet them, you should not be allowing anybody else to be beating on your child. And then a child that young does not need a beating, y'all. They need a little spank on the butt, strong talking to, but you don't really got to get a belt out and beat them till you leaving marks on them. And then the part that really bothers me is we watched him carry that laundry basket out of that house with a black garbage bag with something in it. And if what they found today is Maleah, we watched him carry her out of that house. And it's a whole bunch of interviews out here with this Brittany Davis, who is the mother, with her friends, with her I guess her half sister. And I was watching Geneva's Closet today, and what Geneva said is that the mother had dropped. Now, this is the grandmother. This is Brittany Davis's. I'm sorry, Brittany Bowen's mother. Said that she dropped Brittany off at the house, and then about 20 minutes later, that guy Darian ended up being taken to the hospital. I guess they pulled up at the hospital, and from what they're saying, the car that he arrived at the hospital in was their car. So had he killed Maleah then, and she took him to the hospital. I think she bashed that motherfucker in his head myself to make the story more believable. I believe they concocted something. He said, "Go ahead, bust me in my head and then take me to the hospital," to make the story more believable. This mother is not innocent. Now, they said that that guy Quanell is not always on, 100, but I believe that he was in her corner in the beginning, but as he started talking to her, her story wasn't adding up. And whether he's shady or not, he knows sugar from shit. And when it comes to the disappearance of someone's child, they don't act like her. Because first of all, y'all, a child is 4 years old. Had that been my 4-year-old daughter, and what's weird, y'all, her daughter looks a lot like my daughter did at that age. If that had been my baby, I would be so distraught, so messed up, that they would have to literally assist me down the hallway. I don't even think I would be able to walk, talk, or do anything. I would be so exhausted from crying. My eyes, my face would be messed up. She's walking down the hall, and it's almost like she's crying when she thinks that the cameras are on her, because something that the that guy Quanell said is that when they're not in the line of the cameras, she's not doing all that crying and shaking and all that. And another thing he said is that she has never talked negatively about her boyfriend, the guy that has just now admitted to dumping her body. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, if you thought that he could anyway be involved, why would you even be talking to him after he was arrested? Because y'all, they say that she talked to him since he's been in jail. I wouldn't want to have anything to say something. Um, I wouldn't want to have anything to say to that fool. So you're not only talking to him, but you don't have anything bad to say about him, and you think that maybe he's killed your daughter. That shit don't sound right, y'all. It it don't sound right. You even said that you thought he might have molested her. He was whooping up on her. He was bringing her back to the apartment. At what point do stop and say, you know what, this guy is not good for me and my kids and all that? What At what point do you say that? And then, y'all, another thing. What happened to Maleah that she had to have brain surgery and part of her fucking skull removed? Okay, any of y'all out there who are mothers, y'all, I've had my son when he was younger jumping off bunk beds, running through the house, falling, knocking knots on his head, all kind of crazy shit, jumping off garages and all of that. But no injury has he ever had where I had to take him to the hospital and they had to remove part of his fucking skull. Wa- Wasn't no fall. She claims that the baby was in the kitchen eating, and I guess she fell off a stool and hit her head on. I guess they had a what is that, granite countertops, and that that fall from a chair while she's eating dinner caused all that damage. Did y'all see that baby's face? her head, her eyes were swollen shut. Now, I don't know if that has something to do with the swelling of her brain after they operated on her, but the picture that they showed of her, I couldn't even look at it, y'all. I couldn't even. I think so too, Lady Tia. I think the baby. I think that in her 4 little short years on this earth, that in that house something was going on, and I don't believe that it was all him. Something that Geneva of Geneva's Closet said is like the mother is playing both sides of the fence. Now, this is what I think. I think that guy, Darion or whatever his name is, knows a lot of what went on in that house, and he probably was witness to some abuse that she did. And you know how when you with a guy, he kind of takes his the way he treats your family, your kids, and all of that. He takes his cue from the way you treat him. So maybe if she was abusing him, he said, "Well, hey, she don't care about him," and he started abusing him. I don't believe that this guy was in this by himself. I believe the mother has something to do with it. If she didn't assist, if it wasn't her, y'all, I even for a moment wondered, is he cloaking for her? You know what I mean? Y'all, I don't know. But if they find it, if this is this baby, which y'all, I am probably 90% sure that that's this baby. And once they do the autopsy and they find out what happened to her, and all of this stuff starts to gel together, what what did they do to her, y'all? What did they do to her? And another thing I'm a little confused about, what role does the biological father play? Because let me tell y'all what I heard once again on Geneva's Closet. He says, now this is the biological father, that I guess a day or two before, Maleah disappeared, he had gone to the house to see Maleah, him and his sister. And he says that he was told by this stepdad that he couldn't see her. Basically, he refused to let the biological father see his daughter, telling him that she had the flu and blah, blah, blah. So I guess the biological father leaves because they won't, he won't let him in. And then that's the same day that he supposedly drove to the airport to get that bra. And even to her story. Now, did Maleah go missing on the third or the night of the second? Because from the mother's ticket, when I looked at the ticket online, because a lot of people have posted videos with her airline ticket information. If Maleah went missing on the third and the mother came back on the third, don't y'all find that a little odd? I don't know, you know, I don't know about this story, y'all. I didn't want to stay on for long, but it's almost like, those stories that you okay, I watched somebody else's video and then I did a little research myself. But and then I was just gonna let it go. But this is one of those stories, and I guess it's because I'm a mother that every time that I would try to walk away from it, I would have another question. You know how you be like, well, why you couldn't take Maleah with you when you left? Or didn't you have family that, you know, they could stay with? Let me give y'all an example. I remember I had a training class in another city. And I was living with my guy, but I knew that he couldn't take care of them like I would or my mother would. I knew he would probably oversleep every day. They'd be late for school if he even got up because he got off at 1 o'clock in the morning. I knew that he probably wouldn't iron clothes. My daughter's hair was gonna be all over her fucking head. So what I did is I put my mother on the job. I said, I got to go to this other city for training. I said, I know you probably don't want them to spend a night with you, but can you come over, go over every day and make sure their clothes are laid out? You know, their school clothes are laid out, and my daughter's hair is combed and look, she not looking like buckwheat and all that. I put my mother on the job to kind of assist him. I didn't want to mess with his manhood that he couldn't take care of his own kids, but I knew he wasn't gonna do it to where I wanted. So I involved my family. The point I'm trying to make is just say she loved this motherfucker and she knew he was doing all this stuff to her daughter. Why, when she went out of town, did she leave him, according to the story, in total control of the household if you suspected all this stuff was going on? You suspect your daughter being molested. You suspect, well, you know that he's beating the shit out of her, even in front of you. She got this mysterious head injury, skull cracked open. And the doctors that operated on that baby said that the level of injury that she had could not have been caused from, just say she was sitting on a little bar stool up to like a granite countertop. It wouldn't have smacked her head like that, y'all. Yeah, maybe she would have got a knot on her head and, had a little headache and all that. But to the point where you got to have a couple brain surgeries? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all believe that this is her? Do y'all believe that what they found in Hope, Arkansas is little Maleah? Somebody said that it hurt them to their heart. That's how I feel. Every time I think about her, and she's been missing about a month now. So is there body left now or is she bones now? Did the did that bag preserve any part of her? They will be able to tell if she had broken bones, if it's I even hate to say this, if this baby is a skeleton now, they will be able to tell whether she had broken bones or if she was beaten. They will even be able to tell that if it's just skeletal remains. It's just that this has really, y'all, I guess it's the only way I could put it. This has fucked me up. Like, this is somebody in my family. I got too vested in this. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I have been saying for about a year or two now that I've been interested in being a foster parent. Y'all, I have two kids. They're 8 years apart. My son is 32 and my daughter is 24. I don't have any grandkids, but what I do have is a lot more love left for some child out there that might need me. And I think because we don't have a lot of Black foster parents, that I might actually look into becoming a foster parent, because I even feel like the the whatever the children's services fail Maleah. I feel like when the mother was taking her to these different ER visits, that she wasn't telling them everything that was going on in the house. I don't know, but I also believe that maybe the hospitals, when she was going to these ER visits, because from what I'm understanding, Maleah was in and out the ER with little bumps and scrapes and broken bones every now and again. So I believe that after a while, those emergency rooms, when a child is 4, they had to start saying stuff like, didn't we just treat her a couple months? And I'm just making up something, y'all. I don't know if this happened, but you know how they keep a record of when you come into the ER. So did the ER start noticing, like, maybe last month she was here with a broken arm, or and they reported some of this? Because Maleah's mother didn't. She didn't. Somebody says she's not fully decomposed. There's still evidence Oh my God. Y'all. Okay, and then somebody said, I think it's her. Cornell S couldn't do that interview without crying. I think she was oh my God. She was dismembered? What the fuck? So did they do that in that apartment? And maybe is that the reason why when the when the biological father, y'all, I'm still kind of like piecing all these parts together because did y'all see the other night that her two friends were on Facebook Live? Like, and she was in the background and wouldn't come on camera, and they were answering questions. And eventually, the questions got too hot, and one of the friends said, "Fuck it, y'all don't believe her. I'm ending the live." And then she came back today and said that she had to distance herself from Maleah's mother because there's been some things that she found out overnight that now even her friends don't believe her. Yeah. Now, Lady Tia, that's what I thought. I said maybe they're taking her to different hospitals, different ERs every time. But even with that, y'all, how many hospitals did they go to? I mean, oh my God, y'all, this is bad. You know something? You know how sometimes when your kids are showing their ass and you have to remind them that you are a good parent and that there are parents out here that first of all shouldn't be parents and secondly are abusing their kids, and you have to remind your kids how lucky they are to have you. When I think about how when my kids were that age, how just careful and loving and nurturing I was to them. And to think that there is a baby somewhere that is being, as one of you guys said, tortured and beat and mistreated and neglected, and to the point where they had to take her out of the home. And another thing, y'all, that troubles me before I get out of here, after she had that massive head injury and, went to the hospital, recovered, why did they put her back in that house before they thoroughly investigated everything? And then I heard that the Department of Children's Services was supposed to do random, unannounced, I guess, wellness checks on her, on the family. Now, I know these people are overworked, underpaid, and all that, but what's happening is because of that, we got kids dying all over the country. You know, this shit is ridiculous. And her mother, I'm sorry, y'all, Maleah Davis or Brittany Bowen or who, whatever the hell her name is. God, I hate to say this because what if this lady is innocent? But she looked like a big fat evil bitch. When I saw her she was on some show being interviewed, and Quanell was there with her. I know that we need to let everything play out and we should not pass judgment until we know all the facts. But she just looked like an evil bitch to me. I just, I don't know. And another thing, he claims that she died as a result of an accident. What kind of accident could happen in the house with a 4-year old that would leave her dead? What the fuck did they do to that baby, y'all? What what did they do to her? Someone says they took her to the stepdad's family after this brain surgery and not her mom's family. I saw that. Right. I saw that. Um and I know, did y'all see the interview that Darion's father did? He did it with a YouTuber, and he said that there were instances of abuse before he even came into the picture with Maleah and Brittany, meaning that I guess there was already suspected abuse going on in the home before he even got with her. So that's why I'm saying I believe the mother. For some reason, I, I I think she did it, y'all. I really do, and I don't know if he assisted her in disposing of the body. I I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Darion actually did it and she is assisting him? Or do you think that she did it? Now here's why I have my my doubts about him. You remember when Darion's father did the interview, and he said that Darion was the only one working in the home. He said Darion is the one that, washed the clothes, kept the house clean, did the grocery shopping and all that. And when I heard that interview, I was like, yeah, right. But let me tell you why now I believe his father. Because do y'all know that Brittany's sister, now this is the mother of Maleah, said that all of that is true? That Darion was the breadwinner, that that big bitch wasn't working, and she didn't clean up, and she didn't go grocery shopping, and she didn't do the laundry, and she didn't do keep the house clean. So do y'all think she set him up? Someone says, I really don't think he did. She said it going to get a what? They going to get a Lifetime movie. The fuck? See, this is y'all forgive me because I said I wasn't gonna be doing all this cussing. My mother watched one of my videos, and even though I'm 54, she was like, "Do you got to do all that cussing?" But I just gotta say this: this big bitch, if she had any part in this, y'all know that old saying that what goes around comes around. Because if just say she allowed this to happen, that she was negligent and one of them mothers to just let her man whoop all up on her kids, this bitch gonna get hers as well as him. I actually believe that. Now this is my belief, and then I'm gonna get out of here, y'all, because I can't talk about this for a long time, y'all. I almost was crying like this was somebody in my family. I believe that the mother did something to her. I believe they that maybe the mother did it and he assisted. And I believe that she, no, I don't know, y'all. I don't know what I believe. I don't, because at first I was all gung ho. He did it, the black motherfucker, this, blah, blah, blah. But then as the story started to unfold and it was all kind of cracks in her shit, because y'all, when you know that you haven't done anything, when you suspect that your man may have done, you would act different. When she was walking down that hall and all those reporters was surrounding her, she, to me, she looked like she had an attitude. And when they're asking her direct questions and her answer, like when they said, well, if you knew all this was going on, why did you leave your daughter here? I don't know. When you found out that he was taking her back to the apartment, why didn't you confront him? I don't know. Yeah, the you mean the Darion's father's interview? That made me think of a little different too. And then not only that, when her sister said that the things that the father said about Darion being the one that took care of the household is true. And Brittany's sister, which is Maleah's mother, said that if it's a lie, Brittany told her that Darion was the one that held down the house, that kept everything running smoothly. So that's why I believe the father. I didn't believe him when I was listening to it because at first I thought it was just a dad and a family rallying behind him. But when Brittany's own sister co signed everything the father said, y'all, something ain't right with the mother of Maleah Davis. Because what man, if he moves in with you, has to, why, bitch, why you not working? Why does he have to wash the clothes, keep the house clean, go grocery shopping? What type of mother doesn't do just those basic things for her kids? That's basic. That's not above and beyond. When you keeping their house clean, keeping them organized, keeping them well fed, that's the least you could do for your kids. And you mean to tell me he was doing that? Now, something else I found out today, they said something about Darion had just recently gotten Maleah's mother to start a part-time job or something. Did y'all hear that? That he had been holding everything down, um and that recently he had just gotten her to get a part-time job. So um wait, you said Maleah Davis's biological father claimed Darion wouldn't allow him. See, I just heard that too, that he went to the house to see her, and that the stepfather wouldn't let him in, and basically said something like she was sick, she had the flu. But then right after that, him, the stepfather, his 1 year old, and Maleah all struck out in a car to go get big bitch from the airport, which I don't believe that she was at the airport. I believe she was already back in the city. And during the night, something happened to Maleah, and in the morning, they concocted that story. Y'all, one thing that we know for sure, we're gonna find out what happened to Maleah. Now, here's what I say. You know how when Casey Anthony killed her daughter, because y'all know that bitch killed her daughter, okay? We found out how Kaylee died, and well, not really. No, we didn't. No, we wouldn't. Well, no, we didn't. What we're going to find out is if she was beat, but we may not know who did it. Did the mother do it, or did he do it? And I thought the same thing, Kevin. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something about and I guess I'm gonna go a little bit longer. I'm gonna tell y'all something about young fathers. And this is to take up for young fathers. Young, I'm gonna say men in general. Y'all, when I first got divorced and I moved to this different city, this city that I live in now, I started dating. And every guy that I dated was a single father. He had custody of his kids. One guy that I dated had 4 kids, the youngest being 8 months. Now, y'all, you know I couldn't get with him because I wasn't trying to be the mother of 4 other kids, and I only got two, and one of mine was almost grown. But one day, it's specifically the one that had the 8 month old. I didn't want to just be come out and say, well, the mother don't never come and see the kids. So one day I just asked him, I said, well, did she just wake up one day and say, fuck you and fuck these kids too? And just left? And basically the guy said yes. Another guy that I dated, he had custody of his 4 year old daughter. And he said that the mother, after having the baby, left him and the baby when the baby was like 6 months. I remember every Friday he would drive halfway to this other city, and she would meet him halfway, so she could have her weekend visitations. Basically, the mother was the weekend visitor. Now, the reason why I say that I'm going to take up for guys here a little bit, remember that I mentioned that I have a 32-year-old son. When you raise a son, you get kind of to see things from a different perspective. When I was a young lady, being in my young years, I only saw things from a woman's perspective, me dealing with guys. But now that I have a 32-year-old son and I see him deal with some of these, y'all, it is some crazy broads out here, just as crazy as there are some crazy men out here. Just from watching my son navigate these young women that he's been dating. Now, I don't know if he don't know how to pick right or whatever, but he done had stalkers, crazy bras, to the point where I said, we need to stop just telling our daughters to be careful, but we need to tell our sons to be careful of the girls that they lay down with and have babies, because it is hard for a father to get custody of his child. I got a nephew right now that wants custody of his son, and they know that the mother ain't right, but he got to fight to get his child. So maybe that's what it was. He wanted custody, but he had an uphill battle to get it, because it's almost like, even though they know the mother is not quite right, they don't want to take the baby from the mother. And with these crazy bras they got out here nowadays, y'all, I think they need to start removing these kids from some of these crazy ass bitches and give them to the father. Because those guys that I dated who had custody of their kids, when I tell you they wasn't dating me, okay, let me just tell y'all, let me give y'all an example. Just say that they had set up a date with me on Friday. Rachel, we gonna go out, we gonna blah blah blah. If something happened with one of their kids, they would kick me to the curb with the quickness. And it was funny to me because, you know, um, they would call, they would be like the woman. I can't go. My daughter got the sniffles and I really don't want to leave her with a babysitter. Now, as a black woman, I was proud to see fathers that were really, really good fathers. And that's why I hate when they say black men don't care about their kids. Because when I tell you that some of these guys that I dated that were single fathers, they was better than some of the single mothers that I knew. Because they got their kids, and they world revolved around that child. Now, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here, but I just wanted to know what everybody thought of this, and do we think that this is really her, y'all? Is this really her? The thought that that baby is in that bag, and y'all, from what y'all saying, he possibly, or they, because I believe it was they, dismembered her. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What in the hell is this world coming to when we are, if you beating on a 4-year old, you're a bully. You're a crazy bully. They are, okay. Think of your nieces and nephews. Think of your kids when they were 4. They just really learning to string good sentences together, let alone able to protect themselves against an adult. I'm sick, y'all. I'm sick. Y'all keep watching. And now that I done figured out this live, because the live has changed since the last time I was in it, and y'all, it took me a minute to remember how to do this, but I didn't feel like making the video. Um, and I just want to say this in closing before I leave. If you are a young woman and you are listening to this video, be careful who you bring into your kids' life, because our kids don't have a say so. And every person out there, and I'm going to say even fathers, single fathers, because there have been stepmothers who have killed kids too. So let's not put this all on men. Just if you're a single parent, we know that you need love and you need to have, adult time with with an adult friend. But be careful who you bring into your child's life, because your child doesn't get a chance to choose. They don't get a voice in your decision. They are at the mercy of who you choose. Y'all, I have been very lucky. I am, because I did date when my kids, like once I got divorced, I did date. I didn't bring anyone in my home. They might have drove by and picked me up, but other than that, I really didn't let them interact with my kids. And I'm, in hindsight, y'all, now I'm so glad that I did. that I did. Well, my son wasn't having it anyway because he was like 18 and 19. And y'all, quiet as is kept, he didn't want me to date at all and made my life a living hell trying to date to the point where I just said, forget it, I'll be single till these people is grown. Luckily, I only had two because my son, everybody that I even tried to date, my son had a problem with it. I think if I would have tried to tell him that someone was moving in, I think he would have had me committed in a mental institution, y'all. He was not having it. And you know what? A lot of my friends would say stuff like this. Well, you let your son dictate whether you date or not. But y'all, something I told this young girl today. There's, and Kevin, if you still in here, I want you to co-sign this for me. There is a look that my son gave me when I think he was 19, and he was basically telling me that he didn't like me dating, but there was this look that came across his face briefly where I saw disgust. He looked at me as though I was disgusting to him when I was dating. And it triggered something in me. And I remember my mother saying, you don't bring a whole bunch of, you know, a whole bunch of men up over your kids. And there's something in his eyes. I said, you know what? It's not so important right now for me to date. Let me get my son grown and out of here because what I thought when I saw that look cross his face, and y'all, it was the briefest of seconds, but something crossed his face and it changed my ideas on dating. I said, you know what? This ain't worth it. Um, because I thought maybe that it would make my son think that women had a whole bunch of guys coming in and out their life, and it would make him not be respectful of women when he got out there. So what I did is I literally stopped dating, y'all. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna concentrate on them. And they were, my daughter was just becoming a teenager and my son was like 18, 19, you know. So I just said, you know what? It was my job. I brought him in the world. I got to do right by him. I can't be bringing guys over, or, maybe I could talk to somebody on the phone once they go to sleep. But I didn't do it. I put my kids, and I guess a lot of mothers aren't doing that, anymore. But I put my kids above myself. It was more important for me to have them respect me as their mom than for me to have a freaking date. So with that, y'all, we gotta watch this case and see how all this stuff plays out now, y'all. I wish that this was not her, but I'm almost 99% sure that it is, and we about to find out the horrors that that baby went through, because I believe that what took her out of here probably was horrible, y'all. Horrible. And wait a minute, before I go, how did y'all hear that she was possibly dismembered? Is that what the people in Arkansas said? Ooh, I didn't hear that part. Oh my God. Maybe I turned it off before then. Are y'all getting that from the news? Is that what they said? That she was possibly dismembered? You know what? It's weird that y'all brought that up because when he carried that basket out, and this sounds so morbid, but the bag itself, y'all, I'm only 4'11", so my kids probably weren't that big. But I know when my daughter was 4 years old, the basket that he had her in, my daughter would have been bulkier than what that bag looked that he carried out. So I'm thinking that maybe someone says I'm only speculating because being a full body. That's what I was saying, Lady Tia, because when my daughter was 4, that bag would not have been that small. And I'm only 4'11". So my kids are not big. And when I saw that bag, I said, how did he stuff her down where, oh God. Y'all, we can't even be thinking this way. But I get what y'all saying. Thank you for listening to my video and being here for me. I'm gonna do these more again. Y'all take care of y'all kids and keep an eye on them. I don't got babies no more, but I'm gonna watch everybody else's baby. Thank y'all. Y'all have a safe weekend, and thanks for watching my video. Bye bye now.